Hi, I'm Chris Maples and I'm the Chief Exec of the Met Film School. My role in the school is to provide the strategic direction of where we want to go, make sure that we are focusing on providing the best education, but also providing leadership and guidance in terms of how we can better position the school in what is a pretty competitive world. Just before it looked like I might get offered the job, my wife and I sat down and I said, listen, this looks like it could happen, and it's different, and it's a different experience for me, and it's not without risk and all of that stuff. And she said, well, I haven't seen you this excited in about 6 years, so I think you should do it. And that was what I needed, because I knew that this was what I wanted to do, and I couldn't be happier. It's very different, but it's really exciting and incredibly energizing and humbling at the same time. And I loved my 26 years in the industry, but this feels like exactly what I should be doing now. I didn't leave with a plan of what I wanted to do next. I definitely left with a plan of what I didn't want to do. So I didn't want to go into a big corporate, because I'd done my previous 8 years had been Microsoft and then Spotify, which had become a bit more of a big corporate. I felt like I wasn't making as big an impact as I could. The direction of the commercial business was definitely going in a way that I didn't necessarily think was the right way. There was less freedom to do what we thought was the right thing. It had become a much bigger machine, and I'd been there 4 years, so I'd done a good stint of it. And I think going from 6 to whatever it was, 80 markets or something, that's the fun bit. Going from 80 to 120, that's less fun. One of the recurring themes in my career, I think, has been when it stops being about the work and it starts being about either individual personal profiles, which I think it's really become about now, or it just becomes about the numbers. And so there were several times where I was getting towards the end of my journey in a particular company where I probably, looking back now, I realised that it was time to go. And there's no particular catalyst for that. It's just, I think it's about, if you don't feel like you're progressing anymore, you don't feel like you're making an impact anymore, and quite often the company is going in a direction that you don't necessarily agree with, then it's a good time to leave, I think. I'm sure I was quite petulant as well at times. I'm sure, there were certainly, the older you get and the more senior you get, you realise that sometimes in the past you were thinking, why doesn't everyone realise that I'm right and everyone else is wrong? And of course, everyone else was right and you were probably wrong. So, but there were definitely times where I got frustrated, I'd say. The heady days of the industry are always the ones that happened the generation before you. So, when I started in the business, the generation before me had the most amazing time. They were the ones that were all driving around in Jags as company cars, and going off to the television conference in Monaco and not going to any of the conferences, but just drinking all the time. And my generation were the ones that suddenly things became accountable, and there was definitely a lot of people enjoyed themselves a lot, but I think everyone worked hard. It certainly wasn't Mad Men. We might have thought we were Mad Men at one point, but we really weren't. We were having a drink in Tiger. It's not quite, it's not really like drinking champagne on a yacht somewhere. On a practical basis, everything is different because the subject matter's different. I've never run a school before, so there's a whole load of stuff I don't know. Like all jobs, I felt like I could make an impact here. I sort of feel like I've got my second wind. I really love what I'm doing now. I think we're on a really exciting and important journey here. And I guess for me, this is the first real time when I've led that. I've been part of senior management teams before, but this is, the plan is the one that I sign off on. The investment is the one that I'll agree. It's I have responsibility here, so this is my future. That's my plan.
And you know, when you're in that kind of mental space, you sometimes just want to make a break for the border hug the kids, learn new things, not distract yourself with worrying about a brief for an earbud. It was a big time in my life, and it was important. It wasn't sensible financially, but it was for my soul to go.